Hi,
Yohei.
John.
Nice to meet you. All right.
Yeah, you exhibit a very important characteristic, I think, which is curiosity. I mean, and that's something you want to carry forward throughout your entire life.
You remember when we first met?
We had a scavenger hunt.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Yes, at UCSD. I remember that.
I think they only gave us about 15 minutes, and the list was like 30 places we had to visit. So we were running around campus.
Yeah,
but I appreciated that about you was the desire to pursue, finishing the scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
That's pretty important.
Yeah.
To me, finishing what you start is it's pretty important in life as well.
I really like admire this like catalyst trait of you, like to sort of like enable me to like do these sort of things. Like you really help like find me like any sort of path or way into what I like doing.
Right.
As someone who's like stepping foot into like UCSD the first time and like doing higher education as like a first gen,
Yeah.
I think you sort of like really made me like understand more about higher education.
Right.
Even if it's just from
Yeah.
a silly scavenger hunt. Well, at first, like initially at first, I thought you were like really ambitious.
Yeah.
You still are.
I am ambitious, but I'd say I categorize it not as professional ambition, but more societal ambition, which is I realize, we're all part of a community, and that's one of the things that drew me to ST Squared. It's a community of, in fact, I would even go far as to say it's a family. We're that close with the other mentors, the other mentees. We're very gracious of one another.
Yeah.
I'd say my ambition is really to see our society, everybody thrive and our society to do well. And that's one of the reasons why I joined ST Squared.
I know like we're like both completely different
Yeah,
majors. Like you're
yeah.
mechanical
Right.
science engineering and I'm mostly computer science. At first I thought we wouldn't like click that well.
Yeah.
But I guess like being in ST Squared, knowing you more as a mentor, I became less intimidated and I saw how you were connecting with people and I saw less of like this professional version of you and more of like a societal version of you.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so memorable to me.
Oh, yeah,
It was
great.
like a moment where I realized that you don't have to be scared of your mentor.
Yeah.
They're always here for you.
Right. Even though I studied mechanical engineering, I think one of the reasons why we're a good fit is because I'm curious and I have a lot of interests. I mean, and when we got together with ST Squared, one of the things that we did was we formulated a couple goals. I think multiple goals, but one of them was college preparedness, and another one was networking.
Yeah.
So on the college preparedness front, one of the things we worked on was looking beyond just the major. What can you get from being in a college environment? And instead of just staying with your college courses, just seeing what else is out there in the university.
The thing we did at first, robotics, I keep going back to that, but
Yeah.
it really was memorable for me. I got more of a perspective on how like actual like teams solve problems, which kind of reflect towards like the real world. I mean, in the real world, in the industry, you're not working alone. You're mostly working in like these groups and you're trying to deal with a project.
Yeah.
I guess on that day, you taught me more about how learning networks is like really important. How being a part of networks can help you in the future.
There's so many other things that you could bring, that anybody could bring to STEM. It's not just the book learning. And that's what one of the values of ST Squared is, kind of expanding STEM. So curiosity, we talked about that. Creativity, the whole becomes bigger than the sum of the parts, right? So,
Of course,
I mean, so it's to build up that confidence.
It is.
For the mentees.
Coming into STEM,
Yeah.
as someone of like a cultural background,
Yeah.
I didn't thought I had a chance in STEM. Before I joined ST Squared, I thought it was like this exclusive thing that can't be achievable, especially like getting a job or like being in the industry. I realized that STEM is more of like ambition, more of like passion, and doing what you really like.
Yeah, that's one of the founding elements I see in San Diego Squared is a mentee may not have the kind of exposure I did, in terms of being around fellow students who are interested in STEM. The mentors could come to represent that, and your fellows in your cohort also, so that you're able to develop enthusiasm and the acknowledgement of STEM. Yeah.
I felt like I really saw that in the San Diego Squared Fellows community. I think like knowing a lot of people from SC Squared kind of gives you a backbone for confidence.
Yes, exactly.
When you're going into STEM, like we share a lot of ideas when you're in SD squared. And you really get to experience a lot of that with the mentors and the fellows there too.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think SD squared really helped me with college. Like starting off like in high school, being a part of the SD like 2 community, I never really thought that I'd get in UCSD
Yeah.
either. I mean, it was that rough for me because I didn't really have a lot in my background.
Yeah.
But based on like the things that we did and
Yeah.
the people that we know and that we talked to, they really like gave me the chance to like do the things that I needed to get
about
into
now,
UCSD. SC squared got me connected with an internship that I'm currently trying to apply towards. I made my resume, I made my portfolio, and my resume wouldn't ever be complete without
Yeah.
some of the experiences I had here. But knowing you
Yeah.
really helped like connect me to a lot of like opportunities and programs
Yeah.
that I could like write on my resume. And having that strong background, having that strong foundation, and being someone who's like planning to become a software engineer, I think you made it possible to sort of like look for that. And just seeing like how you are now
Right.
really like impacted my decision.
My mentorship to you, John, has really deepened our connection, first of all. That has helped just expand even who I could be as a person. You saw me for who I was, you know, which is my character, not my job title, not my profession. You saw me for who I, you know, as who I am as a person. So, you know, when we even the term mentor-mentee relationship kind of suggests like it's one way, but here it was both ways, right? Your support, I mean, it just really helped me as well. So that's what you being a mentee to me really has meant to me. Yeah,
Right.
thank you so much.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, thank you. And coming from a mentee who's getting mentored by you, I feel like you really opened up a lot of ways that I could see the world.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds very cliche, very corny, but really being a part of like this like relationship like with each other, knowing that someone out there, even though they're like far into their job, far into their industry, that they would still put the time for you to like really like
yeah.
understand you to like a human level,
Right.
and to like put in like the utmost effort. It meant a lot to me
Yeah,
because at that moment I knew that there would be someone like in my life that would like look out for me and like
Yeah, for sure.
just like take care of me. And that's what I really like find valuable as a mentee, just
Yeah.
knowing that there's always like someone looking after you. As a mentee, I'm grateful to have you as a mentor to show me like
Yeah, thank
these
you.
ways in
Yeah.
life.